Hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here, and we're back with Vivian. Now, I've said before that I haven't fully picked out like everyone's specializations that they're gonna get. There's 4 different specializations for each class. Once again, the classes being Warrior, Mage, and Rogue. And so these specializations will add different talents that we can learn, in addition to all the ones that are already currently available to us. Yeah, there's a lot of customization to this game, which I do like this sort of customization because it's limited custom. You have boundaries. I like it.
Good to see you healthy. We feared you would perish.
We're exploring the Dalish camp too, by the way. This guy must be important because he has a real name and not just
We are grateful you're whole
elf.
well.
So you
Yeah,
should
I'm
be.
just glad to be here.
What were you two thinking, wandering into that cave without first coming to tell the Keeper?
And suddenly you're grumpy. It's easy to blame someone who's not here.
Tamlin's idea, and you've no mind of your own. I suppose your youth can be forgiven. Sadly, Tamlin pays the price. Losing you would be a terrible crime, Dalen. You belong to more than just yourself, or do you not remember?
What do you mean by that?
Let
Give
us
me
tell
information.
these children of the fall of the Dales. You can honor me by sharing in the telling.
Sure, why not? I'd like to hear
Come
this
then.
too.
Help me as I go along. Children,
But anyways, one of the specializations I will be giving
Hear the
Vivian if
tale
we
of what
continue
makes
on
you
with Vivian
Dalish.
is the
care
Ranger
to begin,
specialization. You can actually get 2 specializations throughout the game. I'm sorry, what were we doing now? We're talking about stuff. What am I supposed to be selecting here? This one.
Slaves to a terrible empire. The humans built on the darkest magic. When it fell, we became free. We built a homeland in the Dales, worshipping the creators, and rebuilding the culture and history we lost in our long years of slavery.
But the humans wouldn't let us be. I forget what comes next. If you've ever lost your
But the
bow, it was a lot
humans
like... Yeah.
would not leave us be. They were resentful. Because we
The
would
humans-
not
okay,
worship
and
their
he just
gods.
continued on
And
anyways.
because we put our people first. Over the years, their nations grew cold toward the Dales. In their eyes, we were blasphemers and cruel tyrants. A war erupted. The humans invaded our homeland in the name of their one god, denouncing our sacrilegious nation. And so the Dales fell. They took our lands and dispersed our people, forcing us to live in their cities and abandon our gods. But many of us refused to relinquish our ways. We instead chose to scatter to the winds, wandering the lands. To survive and preserve our culture, the clans stay apart until the day the Elvenon have a homeland once more. We shall then return the old ways to those of our people who have lost them. We are the Dalish, keepers of the lost lore, walkers of the lonely path. The oath of the Dales, and no smart-mouthed comment. Thank the
I
creators
didn't
for
have an
small mercies.
option for a smart
I will
mouth
let you get back
comment.
to your tasks. I pray you find Tamlin quickly.
Yeah, no, I don't need to hear more about the history. I kind of got the
The
general
one who brought
picture
you
there.
back?
Thank you for
Very
that.
little. They seemed decent enough as humans go. As for Grey Wardens, they're heroes without a doubt. Members of our own clan joined their ranks in ages past.
Interesting.
I've never heard of such a thing. But in the days of ancient Arlathan, we lived free and spread far across the continent. We were as varied as the Shemlin, though fewer in number. Perhaps some of us lived in caves then, but all knowledge from that era is lost. Of course. May the gods guide your path, Dalen.
Okay, so we mentioned the religion there, and how the elves seem to have multiple gods, and the humans seem to have at least their main religion, which is done through the chantry,
There we go.
which I guess you could think of the chantry as kind of being like
I am
close to Catholicism type of stuff.
done.
As far as like the structure and the should I say like all the proper nouns that go on. You've got like the Templars and the we'll learn more about that later. But anyways, their concept is the one true god versus, you know, elves that apparently have many gods, which from a conceptual standpoint, I don't understand the whole multiple gods concept, as far as
once we find Tamlin,
being
we can
like a
concentrate
sort
on the
of
journey
real
north.
practical
Thank you for the
concept.
bow, Master Island. It is light and sturdy, much better than the one I made last year.
You are more than welcome. My father made it and used it in battle against the Claim
Hey,
tribes.
that's great.
will
I want
carry
a
it
bow,
with honor.
even though I have one. Persuade is why we got coercion.
One of my own crafting, perhaps?
No, I want one of your bows that wasn't your own crafting. What do you think? I asked for a bow
not
made
have
by
a
you,
history.
and you're like, "Oh, do you want a
You'll
bow made
provide
by?"
one for it soon enough, yes?
Well, that's cool. We got a free bow there.
Of course. Take whatever you need.
Make stuff bow down to us. And this is all going to be like fairly expensive. Now, here's what I'm going to do. These elf arrows. My concept is if I equip an arrow, I can just fire off as many of them as I want because that's what I'm doing, right? I'm firing off as many arrows as I want. So I'm going to sell a bunch of stuff that I really don't need anyways, and I'm going to buy one of these arrows because I'm only going to be able to afford one because look at that, it's like 42 silver. And then I'm going to later be disappointed when I find out that after I've equipped that arrow, long after I've fired it, that it's no longer in my inventory. So apparently better arrows than just basic, no specialization arrows cost money and have limited inventory. I get that it's kind of realistic in that sense, but I don't like that. I don't want to have to manage inventory of arrows. Especially when I have infinite of the basic arrows. Yeah, go figure. Anyways, the whole concept of having multiple gods is like, it's like, okay, well, which ones really reign supreme? You know, which gods really reign supreme in all of that? It's like there has to be one god above the others, right? Because otherwise you have these competing forces, or these competing things that ultimately aren't actually gods. Anyways, enough about that. More about leather helmets. What is better for me? What do I have? I want to make sure I'm not selling anything good here. That's exactly what I have. I have Dalish boots on. So I can get rid of... I don't need those boots. They seem to not give enough benefit for the additional fatigue they give. Then again, I don't know what a good ratio between benefit and fatigue percentage I should be looking for. I'm just guessing at this. Alright, so we can buy... And also, like, I get it. There's like 20 arrows in stock. And I'm like, part of me when I was buying this, I'm like, why would I need 20 arrows? But it's a good thing that I learned about this now instead of thinking that I get these +6 damage arrows that I just fire indefinitely. In my opinion, I would prefer it would work like that, but I have a feeling that if I just had infinite of these arrows, it'd be too good. Look at that, +6 attack and a chance to stun. Chance to stun is amazing enough on its own. And then we're going to add +6 attack. Like, there's no downside to this. Other than the fact that it's limited. But past gameplay me does not know that yet. Alright, let's keep exploring the camp.
Anithara, it's good to see you recovered.
That must be a title.
They fare well. The Keeper called for the clan to move on, and they will be ready to take us. One is heavy with calf, but it shouldn't be a problem. May I ask of Tamlin's fate? Some say the clan will leave before we find him.
Well, we're going to go look for him
The Hollow
first.
mourn our fallen. No sound is more heart-wrenching than their mourning cry. At least they won't be crying over you. They are quite fond of you.
Well, that's good. Let's just...
I
Yeah,
admire them
we'll
for their
compliment
strength
them.
and pride. They are equals, not servants like the Shemlin horses. At any rate, I do not envy the Keeper's decision. I'll pray for Tamlin's safe return.
Okay, so in other words, they're basically like the elf version of horses. Except they're, like she said, viewed as equals. They look very elegant and mystical and elf-like. I like them. There's a book laying on the ground over here. An actual book, not just a tree that we can read. I should go out and try that sometime. Just go and stare at a tree, and then if someone walks by and asks me what I'm doing, I'm like, oh, I'm just reading the tree here.
By the Creator,
They'll think I'm
it's
nuts.
so good to see you whole and well. I was so worried. All that time you were ill,
Sure.
the Keeper didn't know if you were going to live or die. I've been outside the Keeper's tent the whole time. I have never been so relieved as when I heard you would pull through. What happened? Everyone says Tamlin may be dead.
Let's...
That's awful.
Well...
He's been a good friend to you since you were fledglings. You must be more careful. Your mother and father, may they rest in peace, would be horrified to see you take such risks.
We touched a mirror. Granted, it was clearly some sort of mystical artifact in an ancient ruins.
Reopening old wounds benefits no one.
Oh, come on. I want to learn. Persuade!
Perhaps you're old enough to hear this, though it hardly seems like the right time.
Well, when is a
Very
right
well.
time?
If I do not tell you now, you'll only wonder. Your mother was a hunter, one of the finest, and your father was the Keeper before Marathari. He was with us for a very long time. Your mother was from
Neat.
another clan, and her elders did not approve of the match. She and your father had to meet in secret. One day...
Oh, so we had like a
bandits
Romeo and Juliet
cut them
thing
along
going
in the
on.
forest. Your father was killed, but your mother escaped. Yes, but also city elves too. Those of our kind living with humans do not hold to the old ways. Your mother held to life long enough to give birth to you. But grief racked her heart. One night she simply walked into the moonlight and never returned.
I'm not fully sure what she means by the city elves that don't hold to the old ways.
Couldn't carry on without your father. The clan decided not to discuss this around you, lest it poison your heart.
That's
with
kind of sad.
sadness.
I mean, like, I get it. There's... Well, I don't get it because I haven't gone through it myself, but
It seemed only right
I would
that
imagine
you
there's
walked away.
tremendous pain in
Your mother did
losing
leave you again.
your husband or
Something
wife.
of your father's for you to have once you were older.
But if for 1 second you just think about from your kid's perspective,
Take this key. You'll see
you
some
taking
texts
your
written
own
in
life
stone
in
arrows
response
by
is
the
not
highway.
going to help your kid
One of
that's
them was your
left
mother's.
without
Its
a
contents are
father
yours if
or
you wish.
mother. Father in the case of this story. And it's almost like think of others other than just yourself. Like, I know that's... I get it. There's tons of sorrow and mourning, and that's a tough position to be in. But suicide is... I don't see that as being, like, an answer or productive for anyone else around you. Anyways, enough of these depressing topics. Yes, elves that are not part of the old way. Oh, plus 10 spirit resistance. Well, that's just nothing but a benefit at this point because we have nothing in that spot.
I have done it.
I wonder if do they mean their religion? Because it sounds more like the Dalish have just kind of pieced together bits and parts of their ancient religion and lore. So they might not even be following it completely or even correctly, given how they've been dispersed and things have probably gotten lost and corrupted along the way. But yeah, the Dalish elves kind of look down on the city elves. Oh, there's
The
Meryl.
Keeper told me I'm to accompany you back to those caves. As her apprentice, I may see something you missed. But our main objective is to find Tamlin, of course. We must make haste. He may not have much time.
Alright, what else do you have? Fenrir is coming with us. I mean, you can see Fenrir with
Enough
us
to pique my
now,
interest and my concern. You can explain the rest on the way.
but... okay. I mean, I guess I should just
That
mention
depends
this.
on the Keeper. I thought we're supposed to go alone.
Well, he said he wants to come with us,
You said the cave is a
and
dangerous
I
place.
can't change his
You want to
mind.
risk Fenrir getting hurt, or worse?
I'm
I
not
should
risking
decide whether
him.
I'm willing to risk it or not.
Go
Thank
tell the
you for
Keeper
being
that.
logical. We could intimidate there, but I don't have a reason to. Also, the times I've attempted to use intimidation in Dragon Age, either this game or Dragon Age 2, it has never worked out well for me. Either the other person just shuts down entirely
I see
and
you have
refuses
not
to
left with
cooperate,
Meryl yet.
or
there
it ends up
something you
starting a
need?
battle. Which, I mean, those things might have ended up happening
Fenrir,
anyways if I
are you sick?
pick other choices, but
I'm
the
already
intimidate
putting
just
Meryl at
seems to,
risk. I
like,
don't want to lose you
immediately
too.
cause one of those
I
two
want to
things.
help, Keeper. If we can find Tamlin, it's worth the risk.
Very well, then. You have my permission. And thank you for asking for it.
Well, we almost left without your permission until we were told to come get it. Whatever. Was there anything else I missed before getting out of here? I'm just going to do a quick,
How could Tamlin be lost?
another quick little walk through here.
You're back. Are you ready to go now? What about Fenrir? You didn't think I'd notice him?
We asked.
What are you
The
talking
Keeper has
about?
given her leave.
And let us make haste while daylight lasts.
What is your problem, Meryl? You told us to go ask for permission, and we went and got permission, and we came back and said we're ready to go. We wouldn't have said that if we didn't have her permission. Oh. At least Fenrir is logical.
We must strike quickly. Yes.
Strike quickly. How? Oh, we can launch from a distance. And yeah, I've kind of already used that one arrow that I spent 42 silver on. That does not seem like it was worth it. Killing
were those
things from a
things?
distance.
Were those Darkspawn?
I don't know. Let's get a closer
I've never
look
seen
at
anything
them.
like them. You can smell the evil on them. Where did they come from? Were they here before?
No, we did not have those creatures before.
Let's move on and hope we don't meet any more of these monsters. Before we go, are you all right? Were you hurt during the fight?
You
Fine.
look quite pale now that Meryl's mentioned it.
Oh, this isn't good.
Nothing. Forget I said anything. Let's go.
Alright, wasn't there a second guy around here? Where did he die? I want his stuff. I guess he didn't leave us anything. Was that it? That looked like a goat.
I
Whatever.
wonder whose camp this is. Do you remember it being here?
That wasn't here before. Maybe it was Duncan's.
The Grey Warden said he was returning to the cave. Perhaps this is his camp. If so, he's not here now. And we've seen no sign of Tamlin. Maybe we should... Wait. Do you hear that? Exactly. The forest is too... still. Something's in the air. Something unnatural.
Mirror, mirror, in the air.
It seems
rhymes
whatever
with
you
air?
woke up inside that cave has spread outside. The sooner we find this cave and Tamlin, the sooner we can leave. Take us there quickly.
Mirror, mirror, in the air.
Of course.
Don't you dare mess up my hair. There we go. More Darkspawn. This distance attacking thing is starting to work out for me. I think I will enjoy being an archer. Oh, ranger. I was going to talk about the ranger specialization for Vivian. I mean, one of the other rogues we get I might take down that path, but I can promise that I will try to take Vivian down that path. So a ranger basically gets to summon a 5th companion to the battlefield, and you get like different animal companions. Like you can probably get like a wolf, a spider. I don't know what the other ones are, but that would also be so appropriate given the naming theme I'm going with here, and for Vivian. Yeah, Vivian is probably just going to be the most on-theme character of the 6 intro characters we're making. And back to
These
the
are ruins.
creepy cave.
Interesting. They're definitely of human origin, yet elven artifacts are scattered amongst them. Nothing explains the monsters, though. But we must find Tamlin, or what's left of him. I can't imagine he's still alive with those creatures about. You're right. We should explore farther before I go
Yeah,
on
let's
about
just
my fears.
let's just remain positive. You'll also find that I don't want to typically take the negative attitude when we don't have all the information. Some of these Darkspawn are already dead.
Look there! Monsters!
Darn it, that means I can't get the experience from them, but I can get experience from these guys. And sometimes combat seems a little odd, like some enemies might just run past you to target one of your other people that are farther back. It just looks odd when you're seeing the battle play out like that. Like, hey, I'm in front, you're running towards me, you know, fight the closest thing you see.
We must strike quickly, of course.
Yes, we'll strike quickly. Hi there.
This is a waste of time.
You tell him. Give me stuff. A little bit of copper. You saw what the cost of stuff was in the... Hey there. From the merchant. So the copper isn't really worth too much. That's why when you're playing these intros, if you don't get everything, it's not that big of a
What is
deal.
that?
Trap detected.
It is some kind of trap. What is that? A trap?
We are going to take the time to disarm these traps, because doing so, we get 20 experience for each one we disarm. That is well worth the experience. And we also leveled up from that. So more dexterity, and what else do I even want? Do I want constitution? I mean, I think from what I was seeing on guides and character builds, because whenever there's like deep customization like this, I'm always like looking and pre-planning and looking at uh, guides and stuff for builds and general builds and ideas and that. And I might morph things a little bit to my preferences. I did that a lot when I played the Etrian Odyssey games. I would look at some character builds, or I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna pick these characters, and then I'm like, well, what can I do with them? And like, I can combine them with these, or these are some good combinations and skill combinations and subclasses to give them in that. And like, okay, I like some of these ideas, but I'm gonna pass on others and just go with something slightly different for personal preferences. And so yeah, that's what you can expect me to do with the Dragon Age games. Although we're not gonna get too much into this because we're only doing the intros right now, and we're not taking all 6 characters through the main game. No, we're not quite gonna do that. So right now I'm just like getting a general idea for what I'm gonna do, or what I would do if I end up taking one of these particular characters. See, this is why I want more Constitution, because I'm taking just tons of damage here, but I'm almost dead. I don't want to be almost dead. This rapid shot's not terrible. I want to know what's causing that purple 24 damage. I wonder, are those like critical hits? But I can't get critical hits when I'm in rapid shot mode. We're going to go back this way. I know this dungeon loops around, but as you can see, there's more traps here. Hey, no, I'm not trying to talk to you. You're in the way of my trap disarming.
Success.
And we also get experience for unlocking doors and treasures as well. So rogues are kind of nice in that they can get some more experience by doing those things. But with that, we're actually going to leave things off here, because next we're going to the main room with the mirror, and cutscenes will happen. So we're going to leave things off here, and next time we'll finish up this intro with Vivienne.